Genesis chapter 6 is one of the shortest passages in the Bible, and one of the most debated. Before the flood, the text says something happened that corrupted the world so completely that it could not continue as it was. But what exactly was that corruption? Genesis says that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, took wives for themselves, and their union produced the Nephilim, described as mighty men of renown from ancient times. The entire debate centers on one phrase: sons of God. There are two primary interpretations. The first is commonly called the Sethite view. In this interpretation, the sons of God are the descendants of Seth, the godly line, and the daughters of men are the descendants of Cain. The sin in this view is moral rather than supernatural. Righteous people intermarry with the unrighteous, leading to widespread violence and corruption. The flood, then, is God's response to escalating human wickedness. This interpretation keeps Genesis 6 entirely human, and it became dominant in later church history, especially as supernatural explanations became less common. The second interpretation is often called the Nephilim view, or the supernatural view. Here, the phrase sons of God refers to divine beings, a term used elsewhere in Scripture for heavenly entities. In this view, Genesis 6 describes a violation of boundaries, heaven crossing into earth. The result is not only violence, but corrupted flesh. The Nephilim are not just powerful humans, but the product of something unnatural. This interpretation was widespread in ancient Judaism and reflected in Second Temple writings that existed long before Christianity. The New Testament quietly assumes this worldview, referencing beings who sinned in a unique way before the flood and were restrained afterward. If Genesis 6 is purely human, the flood addresses moral collapse. But if Genesis 6 involves corrupted creation itself, the flood becomes an act of containment. That difference matters because it explains why ancient cultures across the world remember giants, monstrous beings, and creatures that no longer exist. Not as myths, but as things that did not survive intact. This video isn't about choosing a side. It's about recognizing that the ancient world understood reality very differently than we do today. Before the flood, the world was not like ours. And what came after restraint.